Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Fist, where we review and discuss your and our favorite action/action comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
I'm swell. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I am fantastic, and I will reveal why very shortly. Todd, how are you doing?
Slash Christmas movies. Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the other Christmas action movie, which makes sense. 1 year ago, Fist started with the other Christmas action movie.
Indeed. So,
All for a reason for Ozzy to talk about that Christmas action movie.
Still to this day, probably the longest episode we've done.
well, yeah, because I did the reading of a Die Hard Christmas Carol. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, it's up on YouTube. You could check it out. Last year's episode, after we discussed the movie, I did a live reading of the Die Hard Christmas Carol. It's worth checking out. All right. This week, we do get to review and discuss Lethal Weapon, which was rated R, released on March 6th, 1987. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, we do.
He is a criminal's worst nightmare. A cop who enjoys the danger.
Wow.
Dogs know jujitsu just brings down.
You really want to jump? Well, then that's fine with me. Come on.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait a minute. What the?
He was ready to retire. Now, he's gonna wish he had.
Gun! Oh!
Raj, meet your new partner.
New partner.
For this. If these guys can just stand each other,
What you got in there?
4-inch Smith.
A lot of old timers carry those.
the bad guys don't stand a chance.
Don't kill anybody. Don't kill anybody.
I'm too old for this. Are you as good as you say you are?
Nobody can touch me.
Suppose we better register you as a lethal weapon. You ever met anybody you didn't kill?
Well, I haven't killed you yet.
And that was the trailer for Lethal Weapon, again released on March 6th, 1987, rated R with a runtime of 109 minutes. Directed by Richard Donner, written by Shane Black, and a little bit of interesting side note. Did some research on the IMDb on this, and it listed with an uncredited note of Jeffrey Boehm serving as co-writer of the screenplay. The only reason I wanted to bring that up is Jeffrey Boehm wrote the screenplay for Inner Space, which I actually just saw last Friday night because I freaking love that movie, and also wrote Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the screenplay for that one. So two of some of my favorite movies. So when I saw that, even despite being uncredited, had something to do, I knew that I was going to love at least some part of the movie, because this is my first time watching the movie. I'd never seen this before.
Any of them, or just
Any of them? I had not seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies. So, in fact, my girlfriend was even shocked to hear that as well. And she automatically said, you're going to love it.
Yeah, how do you live this long in your life? Okay, this is peak Mel too.
It is. So yeah,
the mullet flows beautifully.
Leading into my initial thoughts, I'd always seen the clips that would be featured in commercials or anytime there's recaps of the movie, like in montages or whatnot, like especially the where he handcuffs himself to the jumper. That's scene is shown everywhere, but I had not understood the context, not seen the movie, so it was definitely a fun time to watch. 100%. Todd,
I mean,
did you see this in the theater?
I did not. I saw it on home video. I think it was, no, home video. I totally forgot what I was going to say. You threw me off. I'll tell you a fact, though. Did you know Danny Glover was only 40 years old, playing 50 when he made Lethal Weapon? So
Wow.
he's aging up for the role, so the little salt peppers added in, I'm sure. But yeah,
Ah, gotcha. Interesting.
So does that mean we are all too old for this shit?
yeah. Like, no, but I was having that moment while watching this. Like, I'm like older than Danny Glover was when he was too old for this shit. Like already, like 7 years, 8 years past. I don't know. Yeah, Lethal Weapon. Love this movie. I don't know what else to say. You threw me off, damn it, Ozzy.
Greg?
I hadn't seen the first one yet, so this was fun
Oh,
to
my.
check out. Yeah.
Okay.
Saw the fourth one, I believe it is. But yeah, so this was fun to check out since it is like movie history. It's always been a big name that's been out there. And of course having these two in it. So I was stoked to go for this ride for sure.
So before we get into favorite moments and our ratings, I do want to bring up something because there's something, and I'm not trying to be critical of it.
I
if it
remember what it was. Come
if
back.
okay, but if this is what we want to roll with, I have no complaints. But I was trying to specifically find how this ties into being a Christmas movie, other than being during Christmas time.
Well, you have Jingle Bell Rocks. You have the
Well,
Christmas
no,
tree
right,
lot.
but Todd,
You have the
you
snow
brought this up.
cane.
Yes,
You have the
the
snow cane.
snow cane.
Yes.
Don't
The snow cane.
forget.
Refresh my memory. Snow cane.
Well, no, the cocaine. That's your snow. There you go. You want your imagery.
Okay, yeah.
If you
right,
get your
okay, yes,
floating
I
papers,
get that.
I get the snow cane.
Okay,
We
right.
we have
But
the big Christmas scene in the finale.
I recall.
We end with an Elvis Christmas song. There's a lot of Christmas
I'm not.
in this movie.
Listen, I want this. I mean, I want to walk out of here and have 110% confidence that this is absolutely a Christmas movie. But
It's
you've told
set
me
at
that.
Christmas. That's my thing. So I'll watch
Okay,
it at
well,
Christmas.
because you've told me before.
It's the
You're
other
thinking-
Christmas action movie.
I know, I get that.
But see, here's the thing, Ozzy.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't believe your nonsense about all this Christmas symbolism because that's all stuff that was added in by fans that was never really intended to be there. So it's the same difference.
The screenwriter did say he did write it as a Christmas movie, so that just ends it right there. But I honestly, I want.
There is a magical miracle in one of the scenes. So I believe it's after the jumper scene. The two of them go into the store, and when they go in, he like slams the door shut, but it pushes all the way through. And then in the very next scene, you notice that door's closed and latched shut. If that's not, Christmas magic, I don't know what is.
I would like to say, just pointing out a scene in specific when he was pushing him to pull the trigger and shoot himself in the head.
You gotta be careful with these words. We can't say the S word.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
we're getting close. That's what I'm saying.
That Danny Glover's character was encouraging Mel Gibson's character to utilize the item in his hand at that time that was pointed towards his face, and Danny Glover, with his hand, prevented the action from being executed. So maybe some love towards neighbor, like love thy neighbor kind of thing. He saved his life in that aspect, despite being so incredibly upset with him and mad at him. It's kind of supposed to be an idea of Christmas is no matter how mad you are at somebody, you should be, you should still love them and whatnot. And him saving his life. I mean, I'm trying to.
It's got Jingle Bell Rock. I don't need all this other nonsense.
He just didn't want to do the paperwork. Didn't want to get his shoes messy. I mean,
okay. Well, let's get into some favorite moments. It was tough to not love the shooting gallery and the time it takes for how he I don't know how to describe it. It's like whenever you're in a competition with somebody and they know they're they're going to be in a much better spot than you. They kind, it's not like full blown arrogance, but it's just like a mild, like, like, I don't know what this is going to look like. So this whole moment is building up to see what his score was compared to his partners on this target sheet, and to see the smiley face and have him end with "Have a nice day" was such a like, that's just an excellent touch, and hands
That was
down
great.
that was the best thing, or in terms of, I guess, making me laugh. That was like the funniest line of the movie. But
I will disagree
so,
with that, but
well,
I'll get
for
to
me, that was
Okay.
my funniest moment.
All
Todd,
right.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna go for it, Greg.
Okay.
I'm not really gonna pick a funniest moment, but a favorite moment for this one. That final fight scene. It was just that, like a traditional, like, bare knuckle, and like, the other cops wanted to interfere, and they're like, no, we're letting this happen. And it was just a fun, like, I was like, oh, this is like watching a hockey
Like
game. This is
it's
great.
like 80s, like this is absolute like nonsense happening. But
Right.
it was 80s LAPD, so
It,
maybe
it
it wasn't too out there.
it brought you back to a different time, and it was not one that I necessarily condone, but in a film, most definitely. And it was fun to just kind of see that, whole thing play out. It was a good time.
I'm really glad I let you go first because mine plays immediately off this because my favorite line comes out of that. So that's the setup I needed. I don't have
Excellent.
to do that. So I have to tell you. So after this occurs, there's a line. It's spoken off camera, but you can hear Murtaugh say it clearly. Get that shit off my lawn. And this is after the police brutality, but before the LAPD murdered the suspect. So right in between there, he drops that line, and it's hysterical.
I did think so. There was kind of a I don't know if this might have been an ad lib line by Murtaugh, but it's when they're at the pool and guy pulls a shotgun on him, shoots him in the leg, and he explains to Riggs, "See, I shot him in the leg, so now we can question him." And then he tells him, "Oh, I'm sure you're real happy about it." He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to stand over here and be happy." That one got me pretty good.
Ozzy's like, I'm saving that line for later.
I'm going to stand over here and be happy. But this was as the vintage, like, 80s classic action movie. This ran on. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it's like a nice LA picture too, because you get to see a lot of 80s LA too.
Mm-hmm. Right. It was a fun ride from start to finish, and it is cementing itself into like one of these action classics in my mind. And if has not been seen by any action fan out there, it's a must, absolute priority. Like, hold off Bad Boys 2. watch Lethal Weapon before you watch Bad Boys 2.
Yes, I don't know what
I
else.
just thought that'd be a funny line to say. Watch Lethal Weapon before you watch Bad Boys 2.
That's fair.
And I only say that because that was Michael Bay's. Hey, look how much money I have. So anyhow, but a 5 for me. I'm not going to be surprised, Todd.
Yeah, I'm 5 on this one also, but it's got Tom Atkins too. Love Tom Atkins. I have 2 Tom Atkins action figures I didn't bring out. I know, like the random guy. Tom Atkins is the guy whose daughter was the one who gets killed in the So yeah, I have an action figure of that guy. 2 of them. 2 different movies.
And Greg?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I mean, this is a classic film that doesn't have that filler dialogue sometimes you get with older films. So yeah, it was to the point, got it done, and was a fun ride. So 5 for me as well.
That's a 5 across the board from everybody. Unfortunately, this is, as of November 24th, not available to stream wherever you can stream your favorite content. Of course, however, you can still rent or purchase And if you are an action fan, I would highly recommend purchasing it. Even if it's been a while since you haven't seen it, I think this is one of those, like this is one of these that I purchased from myself just to have downloaded on my device in case I'm in a situation where I have no reception. I can just pull this on at any time, and I think it's the best purchase I've ever made.
And you'd hear Jingle Bell Rock.
You hear Jingle Bell Rock. Yeah, right away. So this is it was Christmas Eve is what tonight is.
I don't know what day of Hanukkah we're on.
I think I wouldn't know either. That's not my realm, so to speak. So I had bacon this morning too, so I'm way out there.
You're like, I don't know what the hell's going on now. Ozzy's just rubbing his.
I meant to say I'm not Jewish, like I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, oh, are you? I don't know what's going on.
Anyway.
For those of you listening and not watching the actual video, please don't think anything when Todd said Ozzy's rubbing his and then left it blank.
Yes.
His special area. That hairy spot.
Yeah, I no. That's the top of the spot.
That bald spot? I don't know.
Okay, that's a little much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now this week there will be no trivia at the Rush Bar and Grill, Lake Forest, or at the Brewery in Placentia, as it will be Christmas Eve then Christmas. To be honest, I won't be surprised if the Rush Bar and Grill decides to stay open on Christmas Eve. I don't see it happening, but they once told me that they never close, so we'll see what happens. Also, feel free to check back next week as we will have a new episode before the end of the new year, and we jump into 2025.
Wow.
So I will say, get some, we'll talk about some New Year's resolutions next week, in addition to a sorry?
No, I was going to say, we're going to have like a lot of like major like 30th anniversaries on some 90s movies.
It is going to be a very exciting time. So be sure on the YouTube, if you have not already, hit like and subscribe. And of course, if you are listening to an audio version, wherever you consume your podcasts, thank you so much. And be sure you are subscribed to that channel so you can follow us on these updates when we review these 30th anniversaries of these fantastic films that Todd had just mentioned. Do you gentlemen have anything else before you head out for the night?
If you see Dream Theater coming to your area, which they're starting their North American tour this coming up January, definitely go check them out. Sorry, progressive metal. If anyone enjoys it, they're on tour. They're the best, and not enough people know about them. My New Year's resolution is to make sure more people know about Dream Theater.
I gotcha. Well, actually, let's save the New Year's resolution for next week because I'm going to come back to you, Greg, real quick. Because it's Christmas Eve. So let's say somebody is watching this and they don't have to go to work the next 2 days, and they're thinking, I want to watch some movies, and I've been listening to you guys for the past few weeks, and I've seen the movies you guys have seen this past. What are some other Christmas movies I can watch?
Silent Night, Deadly Night, Gremlins.
I mean, we mentioned Violent Night, I believe, last week. I can't remember if I mentioned it tonight. Violent Night's good. My personal favorite, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to steal it from you guys, Greg. I know I said I was going to go back to you. So do you want?
No, go ahead.
Right first. Scrooged has always been my favorite to check out every single Christmas. I love that movie. Bill Murray is fantastic. And it also, not only is it such a great retelling of the Charles Dickens tale, but you really get to see how talented Bill Murray is as an actor. And it's such a fun time all around. Highly recommend.
Except for when Michael J. Pollard dies. It's sad every time.
Well, I mean, it's sad, but that's part of the ups and the flows. Yes.
I remember being a kid. I was like, this is too much. Not Michael J. Pollard.
No, but then Carol Kane and, or that was after the Carol Kane scene, I guess. But still.
No, no. Yeah, no, that's a Christmas favorite too.
So what about you guys? Greg or Todd, who wants to jump in first?
Eyes Wide Shut's one. If I don't say it, Pugs will get mad. That's his Christmas favorite. I watch Gremlins every year. I watch I watch the weird alternative ones. Santa Sleigh's fun. The only time I like Goldberg for 90 minutes. So,
Hilarious.
um,
Okay.
Yeah, I just have two traditional ones, and it's just ones that I've watched every year for a long time. My grandmother always loved just the original Miracle on 34th Street. And then my dad every Christmas made us watch A Muppet Christmas Carol, which will be the best version of the Christmas Carol that's
I
out
agree.
there. So it's always a classic.
Other than Scrooge.
Well, I mean, screw it, they're both great.
I know
Yeah,
I'm not going to say one's better than the other. They're both great. Just like with Lethal Weapon and Die Hard, I'm not going to say one's greater than the other because I both love them equally amount. Equal.
One of them has less shitty sequels. I'll say that.
I'll
We'll have
take
to.
it.
We'll have to watch them all and decide.
No, I'll totally take that. In fact, Die Hard with a Vengeance was actually a rejected Lethal Weapon 3 script.
Most of
So-
the Die Hard.
Well, yeah,
sequels were.
most of them were like Die Hard 4 was the first one that was originally written specifically as a Die Hard movie. And then the fifth I didn't care too much to look into because after I saw it once, I never wanted to see it again.
And Speed was written as a Die Hard sequel. That's another one that went the other way.
Oh, there you go. Well, we'll
So-
be getting into these discussions further.
Yeah,
So
we
again,
should-
as I mentioned, subscribe. We're on YouTube. Subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we'll check you out on a new episode that'll be next week before the new year. But as of right now, have a Merry Christmas for world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd. I'm Ozzy V. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, whatever you want to say. Happy, just be happy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.